Happy World Music Day! There's nothing in the world like the sound of your favorite song coming on. It just gets right into your head and your body and makes you want to move. Some of our favorite songs can lift us up out of depression and worry and make an otherwise horrible day suddenly seem like it's not so bad. World Music Day celebrates music in all its forms and the impact it's had on the world and the human spirit. Music has existed for as long as mankind has found its voice, and quite possibly before. Every culture of the world has its own form of music, as it's distinct and unique to its area, as language, cuisine, and clothing. Whether it's just bashing a couple rocks together or full symphony orchestras, every culture and people has found a way to express itself musically. Many of you can remember having to wait for your favorite songs to come on the radio, or needing to swap out records, cassettes, 8-tracks, or CDs as your musical moods changed. Today, we're spoiled with new tunes just a tap away, or even letting an algorithm figure out what we want to listen to next. With the proliferation of music streaming services that allow artists of all kinds to be discovered worldwide, we are no longer spoon-fed what the traditional record label tastemakers think will sell best, and we are able to fill out our playlist with a greater diversity of beautiful sound. Fun fact, in 2020, one of the fastest growing music genres on Spotify in the US was actually new styles of rap coming out of Africa. If we were still relying on Carson Daly and Total Request Live, then avant-garde American teens would probably still be listening to the latest boy band clone. Music is not only a fantastic creative outlet, but it can also have many health benefits, both just by listening to it and the many things it can help you do while listening to it. Studies suggest that listening to music can have a number of positive effects on your health and mental well-being. Actually playing the music yourself has even greater benefits too. When you listen to a particular song, it can help you feel more energized with the happy memories it triggers, and relaxing music can even reduce anxiety and stress levels. You can even use music to help you focus on important tasks. But there are also physical benefits as well. When was the last time you worked out in dead silence? Probably never, right? The motivational benefits of music while exercising is so ingrained that you can't imagine a gym without blaring speakers or going for a run without your headphones. Having the right kind of music playing can help you keep your pace, pump out a few extra reps, and let you push a little harder than you did yesterday. Plus, it's like having your own soundtrack to your personal training montage. Music can also serve as our personal time machine too. Given the emotional relationship we have with music, certain songs can take us back to particular moments in our lives, whether good or bad. No doubt you can remember a song that you listened to on repeat while feeling down after a rough breakup, or the song that you and your spouse danced to at your wedding. Hearing these songs, even decades later or in very different contexts, can immediately bring you back to those memories, and we can momentarily tap into the emotions we felt then. But you have to be careful not to go down the emotional memory rabbit hole, so make sure you have an unrelated, hard-driving beat to pull you back into the present. I know I personally have wide-ranging tastes in music and definitely have go-to songs, albums, or playlists for any mood or activity. Things got really wild last year when YouTube's suggestion algorithms went into overdrive to keep people entertained, and I was able to discover a lot of new and cool music I wouldn't have come across before. Who knew that Mongolian heavy metal was a thing, but apparently it's pretty awesome. If you don't mind sharing, what's a new song or artist you've recently come across, and what activity are they great for? Maybe you can help another listener discover something new that they'd enjoy too. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to talk about in the future, please drop a comment below or shoot me an email at info@fitenabled.net. And if you don't mind, please share this with your friends and family, as they might hear something in it that helps them too. As always, thank you for racing with Fit and Able. Happy Onion Rings Day! It's about time we had another tasty day to celebrate. It's also been a long time since I've had onion rings, so it's fortuitous to celebrate them today since they've been on my mind anyway. In the hierarchy of less than healthy sides, French fries are the baseline, then come tater tots, and then the king of them all, onion rings. Sauces and seasonings may nudge this ranking a bit, but this is basically how the universe has ordered things. I think we can all agree, though, that mac and cheese is in a category of its own, though. Onion rings are rich and crisp and delicious, surprisingly sweet for a flavor so often related to being spicy and the source of so many tears. But something about the process of breading them in a flavorful coating and deep frying them in a vat of oil brings out the delicious flavors hidden inside. Onion rings come in towers and flowers, giant-sized and tiny, and they're a fan favorite all around the world. There isn't a creature with taste buds on this planet that doesn't enjoy onion rings, and fewer still who can abstain from eating themselves sick on these greasy treats. Given their association with fairs and burger joints, you may be surprised to learn that onion rings aren't just an invention of the Western world. There's also evidence that people experimented with the idea of covering strips of onion with batter and deep frying them in developing countries too. In India, for instance, merchants would often sell fried battered onion strips as street food, a quick snack that people could munch on the go. Historians have even found examples of onion ring-like recipes that date back as far as 1802 in John Mallard's cookbook, The Art of Cookery Made Easy and Refined. Imagine onion rings being considered fine dining. Kind of makes you want to wear your best t-shirt the next time you go to Chili's, right? Despite their long cultural culinary history, there are still restaurants all across the US in operation today that claim to be the originators of the idea. But the kind of claim is on par with hanging a world's best coffee sign in your window. Everyone knows it's marketing BS, but we can't help ourselves from suspending disbelief to feel that what we are stuffing ourselves with is somehow special. Anyway, Onion Rings Day is your opportunity to get out there and enjoy your favorite deep-fried savory treat. Your treat of choice need not be made of onions or even ring-shaped. Remember, onion rings were just the inspiration for many of the fried snacks and sides that we enjoy today. French fries, deep-fried brie, and fried chicken are all delicious alternatives that you can try if you fancy something different. And if you don't want a gut bomb that will make you take a 2-hour nap later, you can always find healthier versions of those treats too. You can use a cleaner oil rather than lard, or bake them in the oven. Try a lighter batter or find something not bread-based to coat them in. There are so many options out there to try and enjoy that you can probably go the rest of your life without ever having the same things twice. I'm not going to say that there are as many or more combinations of friable foods, batters, seasonings, and sauces as there are possible chess moves, of which there are more than all the atoms in the observable universe, but it's pretty close. As a reminder, we are called FitNable here, and while we genuinely believe that anyone of any age, ability, or skill level can be as fit and able, and while we certainly enjoy tasty, greasy treats on occasion, you do need to be mindful of what you're putting in your body. A quick Google search for onion ring calories tells us that a pack of onion rings has 480 calories, 30 grams of fat, 908 milligrams of sodium, and 51 grams of carbs. That's a lot. You can consume that much in just a few minutes. Do you know how long it would take to burn that off? Depending on your weight, the activity, and exercise intensity, it can take you between 30 minutes to over an hour to burn that off. That's a lot of work. Plus, keep in mind that after eating those kinds of foods, we are actually less motivated to work out the next day. We treated ourselves once, so why not stay in bed and treat ourselves again? We can always get back to the gym tomorrow, right? Habits stack and reinforce habits. Good habits help other good habits, but bad habits also lead to other bad habits. So, what's the moral of the story? By all means, enjoy your delicious, greasy fried treat dipped in your favorite sauce. But, just like booze, do it responsibly. Make it an actually special treat and not a staple of your diet. And make sure you get back on the wagon immediately so your other good habits don't begin to suffer. You're just doing yourself a favor. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to talk about in the future, please drop a comment below or shoot me an email at info@fitnable.net. And, if you don't mind, please share this with your friends and family. They might hear something that helps them in it too. As always, thank you for racing with Fit and Able. Happy Let It Go Day! No, this isn't a day to dress like Elsa and go sing in the snow, but if that's your thing, I'm not one to judge, especially if you're able to find snow in North Carolina in June. Everyone has probably experienced those nagging regrets and grudges that tug at our souls for weeks, months, or even years. It doesn't even matter how much time has passed after the people, jobs, or situations which once made those negative feelings important cease to be a part of their life. It's an unfortunate part of human nature that it can still be so very hard to let go of these things. This is an experience we all share at one point or another in our lives, and most people never manage to move past it, and the few that do almost seem to have superpowers. We have all had times in our lives when it felt important to take every opportunity to demonstrate to that ex, former coworker, or classmate how well things were going without them, or we at least had this strong temptation to do so. But isn't it finally time to move on and let go of all those negative emotions that tend to drag everything down? Even a temptation not acted upon chews up your precious time and emotional resources. And for what? There's certainly no material gain to that, and whatever pleasure it does give you is short-lived and ultimately hollow. Whatever the original problem was isn't solved, the emotional wounds aren't healed, and if that person didn't care enough to treat you better in the first place, they certainly don't care enough about you now to think, oh yeah, you got me this time. In fact, you're probably going to feel even worse, because you know deep down that you're now the one being the dick. At best, you've now lowered yourself to their level. At worst, you've given them the moral high ground. That is exactly what Let It Go Day is all about. A national day when people all over the world can be intentional about taking the brave step to cast away all those hang-ups from a previous chapter in life and start fresh. Regrets are not particularly useful to anyone. They tend to weigh on people's consciences and leave them with a deficit of joy, often at a time when those who have been wronged have long since forgotten about them. Even if the other person hasn't offered forgiveness, it is an important step toward healing for people to learn to forgive themselves. If we are honest with ourselves, we can admit that we aren't always upstanding with other people too. This helps with the process of moving forward without guilt or bitterness and allows people to endeavor to live a better life in the future. But how do you do this? Write down a list of the things that are regrettable, such as fear, holding grudges, guilt, regrets, the past, excuses, and toxic people who just make life miserable, and spend some time letting them go. To do this, simply work on trying to relax and let that guilt and fear vanish from the moment and eventually from the whole life. One example of a way to symbolize this is by throwing that list into a fire to watch them burn. Let the smoke and embers carry those worries to the sky and wind, and where they'll be erased. Since these things can be easily forgotten, go ahead and use Let It Go Day to create some reminders that will move forward throughout the other days of the year. Whether it's something as simple as hanging a poster of Disney's Elsa singing the song, or painting a canvas filled with inspirational ideas. Use this day to set those reminders. Try these ideas to do just that. Pop a new screensaver or wallpaper onto your smartphone, tablet, or laptop. Choose one with an inspirational quote that is a reminder of what's important about letting go of all that is unhealthy or unproductive. Or select a picture of a happy moment in your life that will keep you thinking positively. You can create a collage using magazine pictures and words that help act as a sort of art therapy for walking through the past and moving on into the future. Or finally, make a playlist that contains songs centered around the idea of letting it go. Then listen to it when you're feeling down or discouraged. But probably the single best way to let things go and move past these things that hold us back is to simply reflect on all the times where we may have done something to someone else that may have caused them these same feelings. No one is perfect and we all make mistakes. That doesn't make you a bad person. But we don't always own up to those mistakes and make amends for them. More often than not, we get self-righteous about it and say that person deserved it in order to make ourselves feel better for our own moral failing. But today is an opportunity to apologize for those times. Maybe you won't actually say it to that person. Maybe you can't anymore if you wanted to. But say it out loud. Hey, so-and-so, I'm sorry for what I did. Don't ask for forgiveness. Don't bring up anything they might have done too. Just simply acknowledge what you did and apologize for it. In doing this, you'll see that those people who wronged you probably aren't bad people either. You never know how things look from their side. You only know how it made you feel. But by owning up to your own mistakes, you will likely find a way to forgive other people for theirs. That is what will lift these burdens from your shoulders for good. Everyone has their own way of moving beyond the past so they can enjoy the future. Sometimes people need little reminders in their daily lives to keep them moving in the right direction. While Let It Go Day is a great start, it's only the beginning of practicing a lifestyle and a mindset of being empowered and unashamed. If you have any questions about this topic or anything you'd like to hear about in the future, please drop a comment below or shoot me an email, info@fitandable.net. And if you don't mind, please share this video with your friends and family as they might find something of value in it too. As always, thank you for racing with Fit and Able. Happy Swim and Lap Day! Take a lap, around the pool that is. Swim and Lap Day is a day to get your snorkel and goggles on and patronize your local swimming pool. It's hot out, so why not? Swimming has been an activity humans have indulged in at least as far back as 7,000 years ago, a time from which depictions of this activity can be seen in Stone Age paintings. People have been engaging in swimming for all these years for many reasons, with recreation being by far the most common among them. Swimming is, in fact, ranked among the most popular forms of physical activity, even among otherwise sedentary individuals. Throughout the centuries, swimming has also been a vital skill for many people and cultures to provide for themselves, whether for fishing, pearl diving, and other activities to reap the bounties of the sea. Swimming is a great way of getting exercise, especially for those who have health problems that make traditional exercise difficult due to weaknesses, arthritis, difficulty moving, and degenerative diseases. The buoyant nature of water makes it much easier on those with physical limitations to get out and have a good time. And the act of coursing through the water is often described as feeling a bit like flying. Furthermore, its low-impact nature allows those whose movement would otherwise be restricted to engage in a full-body workout without causing further damage. Even those who are of advanced age can find an ability to remain active in the sport for a long time. Swimmers tend to engage in the activity for longer than other forms of exercise, and the act of swimming often engages the entire body while moving through the water. This results in the body drawing on large supplies of oxygen during almost all stages of the activity. Other benefits include reduction in stress-related illnesses, and it can even improve your posture. Due to its full-body nature, the sport is also excellent for building cardiovascular and respiratory health, increasing how much oxygen the body is able to take advantage of, as well as how much blood the heart is able to move with each stroke. Swim a Lap Day reminds us that any activity is better than remaining sedentary, and a single lap is a great way to get a start on a healthful and engaging exercise that can involve the whole family. More importantly, in many ways though, swimming is not just a good life skill to have, but it can also be a life-saving skill too. Even if you aren't a member of the local neighborhood pool, at some point in your life you will find yourself on a pool deck or on a lake or at the beach. Tragically, all too often we hear stories about people, and especially kids, playing around the water, carefree, and then drowning. This happens for many reasons, but mainly because 1, they are not mindful and may not even know of the potential dangers around them, and 2, do not have the skills needed to get themselves out of those dangers. Oftentimes, kids who don't know how to swim have parents who also don't know how to swim. So when the kid begins to struggle, the parents have no way to help them. Many times those parents die in the attempt as well. With the number of community pools in our area and our proximity to so many great lakes, beaches, and rivers, it's easy to assume that everyone learns how to swim. However, that is far from true. It's a sad fact that minority and underprivileged populations are at most risk of drowning by a large margin because they do not have access to aquatic centers with training programs. Fortunately, there are national programs with local branches run by the YMCA and the Triangle Aquatic Center that are dedicated to providing swim lessons to both kids and adults for either low cost or no cost, so we can start turning that terrible trend around. The adult programs are especially important because it can be an awkward skill to learn later in life, but it gives them greater confidence in themselves and allows them to help others, especially their kids, when needed. Anyway, swimming is a lot of fun and has lots of benefits, but you need to be mindful of the risks too. If you have any questions about today's topic or topics you'd like to hear about in the future, please drop a comment below or shoot me an email at info@fitenable.net. And if you don't mind, please share this video with your friends and family because they might find something of value in it too. And as always, thank you for racing with Fit and Able. Strawberry Parfait Day. Like its distant cousin, the strawberry shortcake, I'm going to keep this one brief. Strawberry Parfait Day, dedicated to that delicious treat that is so welcome during the hot summer months and craved even in the face of the biting cold of winter by the true connoisseur. The exotic sounding name brings to mind the quaint little street side cafes of Paris, where the treat so many of us are familiar with found its origin. With everything opening up again, you may soon be able to get over there with a direct flight and actually enjoy it in one of those cafes. Its name describes the treat to a T. Parfait simply means perfect. But a perfect what? The word parfait has actually been used to describe quite a number of different things, and not all of them are delicious layered desserts. Such was the dedication to making this perfect treat that special glasses were designed solely for the purpose of showing off the artistically layered designs made during the treat's creation. Parfaits can include any combination of ingredients, from creams and fruits, nuts, liquor, even gelatin or granola. They've crossed the line from being merely a dessert food to being deemed appropriate for any time of day. All you need to do is shake up what's included. But we need a moral lesson for day 2, right? Just like ogres and onions, parfaits have layers too. If you dump all the ingredients in and mix it up, that's a clear sign you're a psychopath. But if you coordinate and delicately layer each ingredient, you can create a little work of art. If you're serving them for brunch or dessert, you can extend the pleasure of the dish with its presentation and instill a great anticipation in your dining guests long before they dip their spoon in and get that first bite. Parfaits are really simple to put together, so give it a shot the next time you have people over, such as family brunch this coming Sunday. You can even lay out a build-your-own parfait bar with a wide variety of ingredients. Everyone will likely build a unique creation, and you can play a game of guessing what that says about them as a person. There's no reason parfaits need to be fun, only for your taste buds. As always, if you have any questions or topics you'd like to hear about in the future, please drop a comment below or shoot me an email at info@fitenenabled.net. And if you don't mind, please share this video with your friends or family. They might enjoy it too. As always, thank you for racing with Fit and Able.